What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be talking about my vegan story, how I got to this point in my life. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's go! Being an athlete, we're always told what to eat, what you shouldn't eat. In high school we kind of went over what we should be eating and what we shouldn't be eating, but they didn't really emphasize it. They didn't really put the pressure on us what to do. They just tell us, make sure you do this, you don't do this, and that was it. So fast forward to college. When I got to college, it was a little more serious. We actually had a nutrition plan, what to do, what to eat in the season and off season, and the kind of shakes we're supposed to be taking. So at that point, they're telling us you gotta eat your meat, and they'll tell us you have to eat your veggies, but it was mainly focused on eating meat and then your dairy and stuff. They're telling us we get protein and recovery from it. So I didn't really know what to do. I was always listening to the higher authority. Whatever they told us, we just assumed that was the right thing and we went along for it. I didn't do any research or anything. I was a sociology major at UMass and also a public health minor, even though I didn't declare at the end of my graduation. But I learned a little bit about nutrition, so I got a little more understanding about it, but not to a point where I knew exactly what I was doing. The good thing about me meeting my girl at UMass, she was a nutritionist, and she was learning a lot about nutrition. She knew way more than I did, and I was getting some help from her what to eat. And then even at that point we weren't vegan, but eating meat and stuff like that wasn't a huge factor. It wasn't something she was telling me to do. It was telling me to stay away from all these stuff, all the processed stuff. So that's all we really learned at school and being a Division I athlete. So I didn't know much about nutrition. And now let's fast forward to years out of college. Not years, I would say 3 years out of college, about 3 years out of college, and my girl became vegetarian because she watched Conspiracy. No, it wasn't Conspiracy. She watched Earthlings. I believe that's what it is, Earthlings. So basically, this documentary was showing the suffering of animals and what they're going through, and you could see the fear in their eyes and the tear. And I sat there and I watched it with her. It didn't really faze me that much, which was sad because I didn't see the pain that they were going through, even though at that time it saddened me. But after I watched it, I still continued on eating meat. Right then on, she went vegetarian, and there was a documentary also that she watched. She wanted to watch was Forks Over Knives. She started it, she didn't really finish it. She was trying to convince me to watch it, and eventually I gave in. So one day we decided to watch the documentary. As we're watching it, literally within 20 minutes in, I was dumbfounded, my jaw dropped, and I'm staring at her. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. She's like, what's going on? What's wrong? I'm like, I will never be able to eat meat or dairy for the rest of my life, but I'm scared because I don't know what I'm going to eat. That's the scary part. And she's like, no, you'll be fine. I'll help you and see what you can eat. And at that point, I was like, no way I'm eating any more anything that comes from animal, for the rest of my life. And what even encouraged me the most was seeing Forks Over Knives and the professional athletes that were in the documentary. They're competing at the highest level in their sports, and they don't eat any meat, any dairy. They don't eat anything that comes from animal, and they're elite athletes. They're performing like insane. You have to see it, and that encouraged me more because being an athlete myself and having professional experience and wanted to up my game to another level at the professional level, and that encouraged me to do it. This Forks Over Knives wasn't just something that they were just talking about a typical documentary. A lot of the studies were backed up by years, 50 years. So they knew what they were talking about. These were all scientific facts, scientific proven that meat is bad for you, dairy is bad for you. We're supposed to be herbivores. We're not supposed to consume meat or anything that comes from animal. We're not designed like that. And they show facts that meat is the reason we're getting diabetes type 2, because that's not genetic. Type 2, anybody can get type 2 diabetes. Cancers, like me and you, we have cancer cells in our body no matter what. Even me sitting here, I have cancer cells in my body. But what triggers it and make it grow and feeds off of it is the animal flesh we put on our body, all the animal junks that we put on our body. So, and they were showing people with cancer, type 2 diabetes, other diseases that they were having, reversing it just based on a plant-based lifestyle. They did these little research with mice, feeding them dairy, and some of them were increasing pancreatic cancer at a high rate versus the one who were eating dairy. And then when they stopped feeding the mice dairy, the whole cancer cells shrunk, it reversed. It was insane. They talked about the China study when the emperor of China had cancer. They launched this huge study because they were trying to figure out how to cure this, and they realized the eating part of the country were the one prone to heart disease diabetes, cancer, in the area where they weren't eating meat at all, plant-based. They were living longer, they were healthier. So just saying that, I was basically convinced that I am vegan, I'm gonna go vegan, and I'm gonna try to take care of my body. And at that point, it was kind of selfish in a way, because now that I look back at it, I was just thinking for my well-being. I was just thinking that I want to be vegan because I want to be healthy, I want to live longer. And I wasn't looking at it also, I'm killing other animals, I'm letting them suffer just because I want to get 30-second taste in my mouth. And I wasn't thinking that. So all of that made me, thinking about it now, it's just, all of that made me want to become vegan and be plant-based. And I was really hurt, because I was thinking, the Earthlings that I watched, I didn't feel sad to convince myself. But now when I saw that what it's doing to my body, and I didn't want to kill myself softly, I decided to go vegan. But now I'm very happy that I did it, because not only that I'm doing it for my health, I'm doing it for ethical reasons, such as the lives of animals, the importance of the animals also, because that matters a lot. And a lot of people actually bring up protein also. Like, it's the typical question you ask vegans, and everybody has to understand protein cannot be made without plants. Plants is the main reason we get protein. So what happened is, plants, they take nitrogen in the air and it turns into amino acid, which turns into protein. So the animals are eating those protein from the plants. So basically all the protein you get from animals are recycled protein. So those proteins are not healthy proteins. They come with cholesterol, they come with animal fat, all the saturated fat, all the pesticides in the animal, all these disease that gives you nothing but more disease. So protein for us, actually, we're having the cleanest and the main source of the protein, any vegan. We're not using a third party or anything. And you don't need that. Anything we eat, we have protein in it, we're fine. We don't have any vitamins problem, deficiency and stuff. And the only thing that people bring up about vegans all the time, where do you get your B12? B12 is a big topic. Well, I have never had trouble with B12s. A lot of vegans, 90% of the vegans actually, I've seen this study, didn't have a problem with it. But eventually it could be a case. And if it is, there is pills for it. And the only reason we don't have access to the B12, because you can only get it through animal right now, is because the fact that the dirt, the soil has been so processed that it can't naturally produce B12 like it used to. So plants used to get it. So the only way we can get it is by taking pills. And that's not the case for me right now. When that time comes, I'll worry about it. And so that's the only thing that people will bring out about veganism and this and that. And at the end of the day, there's also ways to get it. There's always ways to get it. Like the big saying, anything you can eat, I can eat vegan. Anything you can have, I can have vegan. So why not? Why not be vegan? Take care of yourself. Why not be vegan? Take care of the environment. And also one of the things I always get from people, no matter what, you're gonna die. It doesn't matter if you eat vegan or not. Yes, I know I'm gonna die. Like right now, I can get up after this video and get hit by a car and I'm dead. But the main point is, I'm making sure that what I can do right now for myself in the environment, I'm gonna take care of it right now. And I don't have to worry about hospital bills. I don't have to worry about being sick. I can get up and exercise as much as I want. My recovery time is twice as fast. I can enjoy life without being like, I have this ache, I have this pain, I have this cold, I have this headache. I have all these little things that meat bring into us, the stress. Anything that animal feel, the suffering, they carry in their flesh. And I don't have to put that in my body. I'm free. I feel free. I really do. So for that reason, it's worth it to be vegan and being cautious of what I put in my body and what I do to the environment and the other living, such as the animals. That made me vegan. And then the icing to the cake, What the Health came out also. What the Health was basically showing all these big companies that are sponsoring the Cancer Association, all these like crazy, the Diabetes Associations, even the pink ribbons, all this stuff, breast cancer. So there are basically, if you go to their website, this guy did a lot of research, all the stuff that are causing cancer, they are actually getting funded by the companies who are producing the meat. So if you go to the American Diabetes Association, they're telling you what to eat on their website. That's healthy for you. But those are traces that are showing proof that it's giving you the diabetes. So why are these associations actually promoting that when they're trying to be careful to it? Well, the thing is that came out, these are getting sponsored by these main companies, the dairy, the meat companies. So they were doing it. Even some doctors were like, hey, I gotta live, I gotta survive. The hospital has to make money, so we gotta do this. So eating meat actually is a big thing. It's a pharmaceutical profit, it's a dairy industry profit, it's all these people, all these companies that are trying to bring enlightenment to the health, they get money from it. So at the end of the day, they're kind of stuck in that area. So that's why you see this getting promoted everywhere, anywhere you go, with all these craziness that's happening in the world. But so do a little research for yourself. I mean, you don't have to listen to what I say. I'm just sharing my story, what made me vegan. but a little bit of research and then opening up your mental model and letting go of some of your ego, some of the stuff you've been taught, because we could always learn. And humans, we are made to evolve. So I'm evolving by changing my thinking. I'm evolving by changing how I handle my body and the environment. So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm stuck this way. We've always been this and that. We've always been meat eaters for hundreds of years. We're fine. No, evolve a little bit, learn a little bit about it, and see what you think. And what they say in the documentaries, all these doctors were doctors for years, 10, 20 decades, and some of them weren't even vegan in the beginning until they did their own studies and they changed their mind and they became vegan. So do a little research and see what you think, because they said at the end of the day, the worst thing that could happen to you, you lose a little bit of weight. I think that's one of the best things that you want for yourself, because everybody wants to be fit and actually look the way that you should look, which is being not too heavy but not too small also at the same time. Do a little research and it'll change your mind, and even if you don't go vegan, you will basically be very aware of what you put in your body, which is what I want you to get out of this also, if anything. I don't know if I'm missing anything. If you have any question about my veganism specifically, feel free to leave a comment below, and then I'll definitely get back to you. Or if you want to see a different video on this, you can DM me on Instagram too. I'm always glad to respond to everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if there's anything I'm missing, like I said again, please feel free to leave me a message and I'll get back to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.